welcome to yet another ASMR video. Today we're gonna do things a little different from usual because today you're watching me on mini DV tape. And I want to see if this home video can get you a little more in the mood of simpler times, perhaps. And to amplify that effect, I have a couple of objects that you can see in the background lined up for you. They're vintage objects that I've collected for videos that I've created, and today we're going to explore what kind of sounds we can get out of them. Okay, so I'm going to go and grab the first object now. Which is this Grundig radio from the 1970s. I have been told that it still works, but I haven't been able to try it yet. Because this plug is from the 1970s too. A lot of different textures on this one. Plastic panel on the front where the frequency dial is, which is surprisingly silent. And surrounding that is a more textured plastic outline. Followed by the actual speaker system, which is ribbed. 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 As you can see, this radio has had its fair share of use. There are yellow outlines here. Which did not go away when cleaning it. But it gives it, I don't know, character. It's a characteristic radio. Sturdy. Very, very sturdy. We have the wooden panel covering the back here. detailing that this is a 50 to 60 hertz model, maxing at 9 watts and a 220 volt alternating current. The Grundig sign for quality. Qualitätsgeprüft. German. It's a beautiful, beautiful language. For Feuchtigkeit schützen, which means avoid moisture. I'm a sucker for old things like this, because of their characteristic look and feel. Perhaps you know those pictures of a desk that is slowly filled up with, or that's filled up with a radio and a notebook and a typewriter. And then a desk showing how all of that is replaced by smartphones. Well, not here. Here we have a tiny little window into the past. Cool thing about this camera is that I'm not able to see myself aside from the reflection in the lens. So I just have to guess that I'm in frame. How's that? Beautiful little piece of technology. But in the background you can already see the next items lined up. We're going to play with the little TV you see on the top shelf there. Maybe you can make out the cameras to the left of that. Let me go get the TV first. Now this is heavy. Ooh. Probably should have dusted it. This is an Aristona portable black and white TV. And Aristona was a sub-brand of the Dutch electronics manufacturer Philips that you may know from the cassette recorder and the invention of the compact disc, the CD. And they used Aristona as a sub-brand. To repackage older Philips electronics and sell them for a lower price. I'm not sure which year this was produced in. But Philips was already making similar portable color TV versions in the 1970s, so 1970s, 1980s is my guess. Ooh. There's a certain smell coming off of this TV as well. It reminds me of going camping with my grandparents. That smell of their caravan, of old couches and blankets and mattresses. Smells like days gone by. Smells like beautiful memory. I love how different parts of this plastic housing makes different noises, because the components inside are so far apart. Perhaps you remember slamming one of these catch a signal. Ooh. Look at that. I haven't even looked at the bottom of this thing yet. But I'm seeing some beautiful ribs here. I love how they managed to make something that weighs at least 6 or 7 kilos portable. Starting to get sweaty. Let's just put this back and pick up the camera next. This is the Minolta X300, manufactured in the 1980s. I've never actually used this. Ooh, that's a beautiful texture right there. Listen to that. Because this camera is still using actual film. So why do I have this, you might ask? Well, I was looking for the lenses that Minolta manufactured because they're really quite good. Nowadays, for a proper prime lens, you'd pay around 200-300 euros, and for a vintage prime lens, you can get them as low as 50 bucks. So it's an easy way to get a very nice, distinct look, because vintage lenses were never produced using computers. So somebody actually had to sit there and properly calibrate the lenses. Handmade lenses have distinct flaws that set them apart from even their brothers and sisters in the same line. And I love that. We're going to use them in a future video as well, where I'm going to do a reading of Jack Kerouac's On the Road, which is vintage too, so the two align quite nicely. All the ribs and all the leather casing, it's just beautiful. Oh, we found a little hollow compartment. I'm pretty sure that this is where the film is supposed to go. Now I want to try and open this, but to be honest, I'm kind of scared that I'm going to break it. So I'm just pushing random buttons here. Ooh. There's no film inside. And this is what a film camera sounds like with no film inside. Nice and scratchy and scrapey. Shutter speed. That has some big jumps in it. I'm impressed. It goes from 1 to 2, 4, 8, 15, 30, 60, 125, 250, 500, 1000. And then it goes to auto. That's the beautiful thing about limiting yourself creatively. You'll just have to find a way to make it work. And that means you can get creative. Because creativity is more than just thinking up the impossible. It's also about making the most of what you've got. There's a lesson to be learned there, I'm sure. Didn't even intend for it to be there. Wow. think that's it for this video. I'm gonna go ahead and develop this tape now. Do you even call it developing? I think you'd only develop film, actually. Maybe I'm just gonna digitize this tape. I'm gonna post some pictures of that on Instagram, so if you'd like to see how experimental ASMR comes to be, follow me, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.